I'm joined with Roger Rosmus from Goliath Resources here at the Commodities Global Expo 2024. Roger, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So gold's hitting all-time highs as you and I are sitting here right now. Let's start off with the gold market. What's your read on what's happening? Do you think that we are in the middle of a re-rating that's going to keep going? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but what's your view on gold?
I think it's going higher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, but what do you think's driving it right now?
Everything. The world's it's a shit show out there. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. So can I say shit?
Yeah. Well, you can say shit all you want on the deep dive.
Fantastic. Thank you. Just everything's in a mess. You know, USD printing money. It's just it's not a good not a good situation. Then you get China, Russia, you get BRICS. You know, it's a perfect storm.
Yeah. One thing that I like to ask companies when they're at these conferences, especially right now, is it feels like we're still not getting that euphoria in the equities yet. I was chatting with Frank Callahan yesterday, and he said this is a party where most of the people are going to show up around 10:30 or 11, and we're at 9 o'clock looking around, the people early at the party being like, ooh, I don't know, do I really want to be at this party? What's your view on that?
My view is that I'm in agreement with that. The fact that gold keeps going up on a monthly basis, and I think when we thought, gold's going to hit 2,200, the juniors are going to catch up. Oh no, when it hits 25, the juniors are going to catch up. And now we're at 27 and change here. Still that disconnect. On a positive note, there, it's nice to see that the M&A cycle has slightly started to pick up, which is a good sign. And so, it just have to be a bit of a delay happening here. We just have to remain patient. Certainly for Goliath, we came off an amazing season, well-funded, going into 2025, and where it's difficult for most juniors raising capital has not been an issue for us, which is a testament to, I think, the world-class discovery that we have on our hands here.
What's the high-level overview of the company for our audience new to the story?
High-level overview. Okay. The shareholders, our share register, we've got Crescat Capital, Rob McEwen, Larry Childress, Eric Sprott, thank you very much. And I just brought in a group out of Singapore, Global Commodity Group. They own about 3.5% of the company. I have another strategic institutional group. They own just sub 10% of the company. So that would be number one. Number two, this year's drilling, over 38,000 meters, of which the meters drilled at Sherbrooke, 92% of those holes had visible gold in them, which is obviously a good telltale that our assay should run pretty decent, I would think. Number three, we've got the town of Kitsault, which I think you've just done a expose or putting something together on the town about the infrastructure. So we have infrastructure, we have the town of Kitsault where there's power, we sit on tidewater, and our system remains open. So the more we drill, the bigger it gets. Where in most cases, when you're going out looking at new systems, it's massive, it's huge, and then as you're drilling it gets smaller and smaller. Guess what? Every year we go out, it gets bigger and bigger. We're finding brand new mineralized zones that we didn't know existed from the previous year.
Maybe you can give us a little bit of insight into the projects that you own, sort of the historic drilling that's happened, what those grades have kind of looked like.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Good question. So this was never drilled before until we came along. The reason why is because it's covered under glaciers and permanent snowpack. So let's call it in the last 3 to 5 years, this wouldn't have been discovered. So to date, had a maiden drill program in 2021. Again, we just finished off. This was around 35,000 meters here at the main Sherbrooke flagship discovery. So we've got roughly, call it around 100,000 meters put into the system now, and we haven't missed on any hole. We've hit mineralization in this area where we have multiple lodes that we're seeing. There's 10 veins in total, but of which that have, I guess that's the biggest, we think will have the biggest tonnage. At the end of the day, there's really 6 of them. And this year we focused on the one lode, which is essentially the contact between the sediments above and the Hazelton volcanics below. So it's the contact where we're getting material up to 9 meters over 1 ounce gold, okay? Which are almost true width. So this year we delineated this triangle, essentially we're calling it the Bonanza Golden Triangle. This area is quite large. We stepped out 720 meters to the northeast, 620 meters to the northwest. And again, we're seeing mineralization up to 9 meters over 1 ounce. There's about 14 holes that are pending assays, all of which we see mineralization up to 27 meters, over 27 meters. So as an example, again, I'm not saying this is what it's going to be, but if you did the math on this area, and assume, let's say maybe it's like 5 meters in thickness on average, there's potentially, again, possibly 2 million tons of material there. And then whatever the grade might be, there could be like a starter pit similar to what you saw at the Premier mine. I think it was 1 million ounces Premier had at a half an ounce. And that asset produced close to 9 million ounces, I believe, thereabouts.
So you guys have a slide on your deck that talks about the market cap of you guys after 60,000 meters drilled versus, we'll say some peers like, I think one was Newfound Gold. And what's the other one, Dolly Varden?
No,
it was Great Bear.
Great Bear, correct.
Why do you think it is that the market hasn't rewarded you guys?
Different times as well, and I think just back to the earlier question about the disconnect between the price of gold. We put that in there just to demonstrate that they were trading north of $300 million each, which we were trading at the time just over 100 million. I mean, now we're like 172, so we're kind of, I guess, sort of catching up to that range. But in my mind, I would think we should be trading at least that, based on what we've drilled to date. We've been basically de-risking this asset every year that we drill it. Again, the more we drill, the bigger it gets, and the more data points that we have. So this year we're going to come out with, I think we'll get a re-rate at some point when we do have all the assays, which I believe should be decent based on all the visible gold we're seeing in all the holes. And in particular, that triangle that we're talking about at the Bonanza area at the contact point.
So last question for you, Roger. If I'm an investor watching this and I say, okay, you've hit some pretty big drill holes, and I'm looking for some gold names to add to my watch list, what am I looking out for over the next 12 months from the company?
Well, right now we have 105 holes pending assets.
Oh, wow.
We have a huge pipeline of news flow coming. So you probably want to do your due diligence homework. If you're going to become a shareholder, you might want to do it before the news comes out, I would think.
Well, Roger, thanks very much for sitting down and doing this. I think you got a very interesting story. I absolutely love the Golden Triangle and think that we're in the early stages of a big mining boom there. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this, and I hope you have a successful week of meetings.
Thank you very much. Cheers.